Hello, this is Palagi. Thank you for tuning into my channel, and welcome back to part 2 of our series here. Today we're going to be talking about choosing your carry guns, okay? Now that you've chosen your caliber, we're going to want to put some thought into some other things, okay? First of all, the number of rounds that you feel comfortable with, okay? And this is going to help dictate what we're about to talk about in this video, alright? Before we do that, let's talk real quick about revolver versus semi-auto, okay? This video is mainly going to be based around the semi-auto pistol, okay? But I made a video on the revolver versus the auto pistol, okay? And if you care to know the reasons I choose the semi-auto, go ahead and check that out, alright? However, I will say that the revolver can make a really good backup piece, okay? But in the event that you do decide to carry a revolver, I personally would go with .357, and the reason I say that is I wouldn't limit yourself with just the .38, okay? If .357 is too much for you, you can always shoot .38 out of it, and that's, or .38 plus P or whatever, and that's kind of the nice thing about .357, alright? But if I was forced to choose a concealed carry revolver, a few of my choices would be the Ruger SP101, the Smith & Wesson M&P 340, and also that Chiappa Rhino. It's a very unique looking revolver that you might want to take a look at, okay? Now, back to the semi-autos here, okay? Obviously, the bigger the gun, the harder it is to conceal, yet it's going to be easier to shoot, okay? But the smaller the gun, the less capable, i.e. Lower rounds count, and you may find it a bit more difficult to shoot, okay? You're going to have to weigh that out and decide for yourself, alright? Now, let's quickly talk about single versus a double stack magazines, okay? I'm sure all you are kind of familiar with it, but quickly I want to go over this, alright? This is obviously single stack, this is double stack, okay? This is actually 45, and this one is 7+1. I think some of those, or most of the 1911s are 8+1, okay? This is a 9mm, obviously it's double stack, you can see it's about twice the thickness, and this is your 17+1, okay? Now, it goes without saying, a single stack, it's going to be thinner, it might be more comfortable to conceal, but it comes at the price of more rounds count. Again, that's something to consider and figure out for what's right for you, okay? Now, let's talk about the different handgun sizes, alright? We'll start with subcompact, alright? Now, first of all, I want to start by saying that subcompact does not necessarily mean single stack, okay? For instance, this is Glock's take on their subcompact firearm. You can see it is double stack. It is just, they call it the baby Glock. It is just a pared down version of the rest, okay? And this is also a subcompact by Smith & Wesson. You can see it is single stack, okay? Now, although it's going to be a little bit harder, to shoot for most people. Personally, I don't get that, but people say that. It's going to be a lot easier to conceal. Alright, now if you are just getting into the game and you might even have a hard time concealing, or it might feel funny at first, okay, maybe this is the route you want to go, okay? But the one thing about it though is, you know, it's not going to be, it will work in a home defense situation, but it's certainly not ideal, and it's going to make for a poor range gun or a target pistol, alright? Now, let's go ahead and talk about the compact, okay? This is going to be like this one here, alright? Now, although it's going to be a little bit harder to conceal as opposed to the subcompact, it's very doable with a good holster, alright? Now, obviously, it's going to hold more ammo than the subcompact, and if money was tight and you needed one gun for everything, I would urge somebody to go this route. And the reason I say that, it's just kind of the best of all worlds, okay? You can conceal it, you can use it as a range gun, you could use it as home defense. It's just kind of an all-around gun, okay? Now, your full size. Now, obviously, it's going to be the most difficult to conceal. I personally can't do it without printing. It depends on how you carry it, obviously, but the way I carry it, it's not really conducive to that, okay? Now, where it does shine, though, is in mag capacity. It's going to be the easiest of all of them for most people to shoot. It's a good home defense. It's a good range gun. It's great at those two things, but like I said, not necessarily the easiest to conceal, okay? So now that we got that out of the way, let's kind of get to the heart of the video here, okay? Okay, one of the more important things about choosing your platform is the trigger and the trigger system, okay? What I'm talking about is like single actions, double action only, double to single, striker fired, all of that, okay? Let's go ahead and start with a single action, okay? That would be like a 1911. Let's go ahead and make sure this is clear, okay? Now, single action means just that, okay? This needs to be cocked, hammer backed before a round is shot, okay? The slide reciprocates and puts it back into single action. That's the only way this can be shot, okay? Now that's your single action, all right? Let's talk about double to single really quick, okay? That's going to be like your Beretta M9s or your Beretta 92s, you know, same gun. The Sig Sauer 226 and a plethora of other ones, okay? Double to single action, what that means is you'd stick the mag in, okay? You chamber around, and then you'd go ahead and decock it, and that's how you carry it right there, okay, in double action. So essentially, you draw the gun, and you're going to have a big, long, and heavy take up, okay? See how long that trigger is? About 10 pounds. And then boom, there goes your first round. The slide reciprocates and it puts it in single action. So every round after that, subsequent to that, is going to be in single action. So that is your double to single action, okay? Just like that, all right? Now, double action only, that would be like the Kel-Tec PF9 here, okay? It's essentially, like I just went over, that double action, but every single shot is that double action, that big, long. It's not as heavy as on the Beretta, but it's just a long trigger pull every single time, okay? Slide reciprocates, long trigger pull, okay? That's the double action, okay? Now, the striker fire is actually considered a double action, okay? But in this video, we're going to refer to it as striker fired, okay? So this is how it would be carried. There is no safety. There's nothing like that, okay? So there's your trigger, slide reciprocates, same deal every time, okay? So those are the different triggers out there, okay? And it is kind of a big deal, and it might be a big deal to a lot of people. So I did want to throw that out there, okay? Okay, let's talk about running a safety on your pistol, okay? I'll tell you where a safety, as far as I'm concerned, a safety really is necessary on single action firearms, okay? And there's a reason for that. Where's that 1911? Okay. The reason being is if you're going to carry in condition 1, this is it's a very light trigger, okay, and it's unsafe to carry that way. Not only is it a light trigger, just the way these are designed, okay? So if you're carrying in condition 1, that safety should be on. So when you draw the gun, you sweep that safety off and engage. That's kind of how that works, okay? Other than that, honestly, I don't think a safety belongs on a gun. Now, I might catch some heat for that, and I know there's people that'll disagree with me, and that's okay. The reason I say that, though, is because it's one more thing under stress that you're going to have to remember or mess with, okay? Now, if you adhere to the 4 gun safety rules, you have nothing to worry about. Namely, keep your finger out of the trigger guard until your sights are on target, okay? I carry Glocks daily. I don't have a problem with that. You don't put your finger in the trigger guard, that's all, okay? Now, I know what you're saying, it's just a safety, I know, I'm going to know, and maybe you will, I hope you're right, okay? But I see people at the range with the safety on, they get tripped up, much less a self-defense situation, okay? Yeah, I personally, although I'm pretty confident in my ability, it's just one more thing that I'd have to mess with, okay? So that's why I'm not partial to safeties, all right? Another type of safety is a grip safety, okay, which again is on the 1911s, like the XDM series and all of that. That has to be depressed for that trigger to be actuated, okay. Again, not a big fan of it, but you might be. Now, one thing I will say is if you insist on carrying a safety, I would get very familiar with that handgun, and every time you draw it, even practice that, sweeping that safety off every single time, okay? Now, I understand that everybody has different preferences, so I made a list of some different firearms that I would recommend, okay? I tried to include at least one gun per action type, or, you know, of each different, like double stack, single stack, different actions and all of that, okay? But anyway, if you guys have any questions or you think I may be able to help you, please go ahead and leave a comment. I would be happy to help in any way I can. After all, that's the primary reason I started this channel. So anyway, there it is. Part 2 is complete. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is Chase signing off.